Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today, and before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun crafty content we have. You can subscribe completely free just by hitting the subscribe button down below.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
Today's video, we're going to talk about how you can start your own t-shirt business without needing a ton of extra equipment and items. We're going to do this completely without a CRICUT, and it's really fun and honestly pretty easy. Now, these are not concrete set in, rules that you have to do to run a business. This is just an option and some little tips and tricks and ways that you can begin a business if you'd like to. We're going to be using DTF prints, and this is a 5-foot gang sheet. So this is 5 feet long by 22 inches wide. I've got it rolled up right now, but I will show it to you in just a minute. And then we're also going to talk about the cost of everything, what kind of items you're going to need beyond just like t-shirts and DTF prints and all of that today. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, of course, if you're going to start a business, you want to figure out what kind of blanks you want to sell. So for this one, we're going to be starting a t-shirt business, but honestly, do whatever you like and your passion will show in your business. So just keep that in mind. I just wanted to pop in here really quick just because I wanted to clear up in case you were confused. There are different kinds of DTF transfers. There's this plain DTF that is direct to film transfers, but then there are UV DTF. That product is used for hard surfaces like cups, tumblers, picture frames, glass, all those things, but DTF is specific to be used just on fabric. But for this, we're going to just talk about t-shirts. So I've got some crew neck sweatshirts here, and then I also have some t-shirts here. We're going to talk about first t-shirts and where to order them and how much they cost. Now, it's going to depend on what brand you use, where you order them from, all of that type of stuff for cost-wise. But I find that t-shirts go for anywhere from $2 to probably about $10. And then crew necks and hoodies can go anywhere from like $5 all the way up to like $50. So you'll want to find a brand that you like and you feel confident selling. You also want one that probably comes in a bunch of colors because that's always an option, and sizes are super important. You're also going to want to choose a shirt that you're comfortable wearing because you wouldn't want to sell to your customers something that you don't love. So I personally am a big fan of Gildan and Bella Canvas. So these are Gildan soft style crew necks, really super comfy. These are oversized for me, so I ordered a size up for those. But then these are some Bella Canvas t-shirts, and these come in a ton of great colors. They're really nice and stretchy and comfortable. So I really like these. And I want to say that these are anywhere from about $3 to $7, just kind of depending on sizing and color and all of that. Now, I order mine from lots of different places. Shirt Space is a great option. All Day Shirts, Jiffy Shirts are usually my 3 go-tos, but there are tons of places, so don't feel like just because that's where I like to shop is where you need to shop. You'll want to shop around and find the place that's going to offer you the best price. You're going to want to find one that offers the best free shipping and fast shipping. Now, I do want to talk about DTF. So DTF is a direct-to-film transfer, and these are full-color transfers that you print through a company, and I print mine through 143 vinyl. I find them to be really fantastic, and this thing's honestly gigantic. Like, I could keep going and going, but I'll show it to you a little bit better here. So as you can see, they're all different prints. This was just so that I could show you kind of a, design. I'm going to show you really quickly how I put this all together on their website, along with cost and everything for this sheet. So let's go over to 143 Vinyl and I'll show you that. We're going to be using the 143 Vinyl website for this, and what's great about this is it's so simple to do. Go down to where it says direct to film transfers and choose that option. Now, you have lots of different options for this. You can do just single images, or you can do a gang sheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose right here where it says upload image or layout designer. I want to go to layout designer. Now with this one, you'll see that you've got all these different options right over here. So you have sizes. So you have small, youth, small, large, extra large, 2X, 15, 1 foot, 2 foot, and 5 foot. So these ones are going to be for your gang sheets. We're going to make a 2 foot gang sheet today, and you'll see that this measures 22 inches by 24 inches. So it's 22 inches wide and 24 inches long. This is a great way to make a ton of designs, super quick, super easy, and you can go all the way up to 5 feet. This is going to keep your costs low for your transfers. This is really an inexpensive website to use. I've seen other transfer places charge up to $90 for 2 feet, so definitely shop around. But I found that 143 vinyl to be the least expensive with really wonderful quality. So what you'll do to upload your design is where it says new under layers, you're going to click the little plus sign, and then you want to choose an image because we're going to upload them from our computer. So I have made a folder under my CRICUT folder that I called Gang Sheet because those are all the designs that I want to put into my gang sheet, or at least some idea of what I want to do. Now, the website I downloaded it from has really poorly named files, but that's okay. Now I'm going to choose this folder right here, and I've got it so that I can preview my images so that I can see what they look like because we're going to be using the PNG images for this. So I want to use this Slay Girl Slay one. Now, one thing I want you to note is that when you're uploading these, you want to make sure that they don't have a background. So to note if it doesn't have a background, you'll see that you can see the gray and white squares through the letters and behind the words and all that. So that's how you know that it doesn't have a background, and that's exactly what we want. Now, this is huge. This is way too big for what we want to do, so we want to size it down. Click on this, it looks like a pencil. Click there, and it's going to be your edit layer option. You can do everything from sizing it and moving it, rotating it, all the things, but we're going to size it down, and I'm going to size it about the size I normally use for a large shirt, which is 9.5. Now, you can do however many different sizes you want. You can do all of that type of stuff with this designer. You can do different sizes. You can do all the same size. It's really up to you. So what you want to do is get this all the way up into that upper corner, and then we can just either duplicate this if we want more than one, which you can do under the edit option. You'll see that you have duplicate right here, and you can add, if I want to do 3 of them, and it lays it out itself. Now, if I don't want them, it's okay. You can go ahead and just delete the ones that you don't want. That's completely fine as well. You can go up to edit, and you can just delete that layer. So if you don't want more than one or whatever you want to do, or maybe you made too many, you can just delete them. It's really easy to make your own gang sheet. And if you're doing this to create the business, which is what we're talking about here, I would recommend, if you're going to do it, make multiples of each design. That way you can really have a bunch to choose from, especially if you're going to be doing pre-orders. That way you kind of know how many you need of what size. Now, I'm not going to do that because I'm just showing you this. But what then I'm going to do is I want to add another image. So I'm going to click new over under layers, choose another image, and then let's just choose one from this same design. Let's do this hot chocolate season one. And again, it's going to open really large because these are high quality files. So I want to edit that file down again to the size I want for my women's large shirt. So I'm going to go with 9.5 and just see how big that looks. It's 12.1 inches high, so that's a little bit big for a shirt, I think. So I'm going to go 9, and that'll put it a little under 12 inches. Then all you need to do is move it over, and you can move it pretty close to this one, but you want to make sure that you have enough space between the two designs to cut them out. So with this one, you are going to want to be careful right here over this edge. But if you're not real confident in your cutting abilities, just move it over a little bit. And you're going to waste a little bit of space. But if it's a matter of can't cut it because it's too close, just keep that in mind. And you can always move it under it too. You can really move these anywhere that you're comfortable with. So I think for this one, I'm going to put it lower because we can put a wider one right here. So let's find some other designs to use with this. So I'm going to go back a folder. And let's see what we have in this one. Oh, we have the In My Christmas Vibes era. This one's really cute. And this one will actually fit pretty well right here in this spot. So this is my In My Christmas Vibes era. And again, they're all going to open really big because they're high quality files. So what I want to do is size this down. And again, I'm going to size it to a normal size that I would do for a women's large, which is about 9.5 inches. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to slide this over. And you can see here, we've got plenty of space for that. We could actually make it a little bit bigger if we wanted to, but I think that's a pretty decent size for the shirts that I'm going to do. Now let's go ahead and we're just going to add some more images. I'll add one more to show you how to do it, and then I will come back once I have all of my designs showing so that you can really see what that full gang sheet's going to look like. Now all I do, like I said, I right click and then I just view the large icons so that I can really see what these look like and what I want to use. So I love this Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. So let's do that one next. And again, we're just going to kind of move stuff around as we need to on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this to, again, and just because I'm doing large shirts, just because if I'm going to make this, I'm just making them for myself. I'm going to move this down, and I'm actually going to move this one over a little bit just because I think it'll fit better. And then I'm going to slide this one in. Now I am going to just double check the size on that one. All right, that looks good. I think those sizes look pretty good. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch more. When we come back, I'll show you what everything looks like. Now I did want to point out something really quick before I really move on, and I did end up making a 5-foot gang sheet, but I want to show you this little guy here. So one thing I want to notice for you guys is look at how much space is between the edge of our design and our bounding box. If you come across a design like that, you can absolutely still use it, but you're going to need to use the ruler a little bit to help you see what size it is, because this claims to be 12 by 12, but if I actually put the design against the edge and then see here, it's only about 10.5. So I only really need to go down about an inch for this design size. So that's something to keep in mind when you're picking out designs. Just make sure you're really looking at the bounding boxes and all of that information before you actually like fully choose what size you're going with. These ones bounding boxes are right on the edges of the design, but this one is not. And this is actually what they marketed as a sublimation design, but you can use it for DTF. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this and come back. I was able to fit 13 full designs, and then I just added these 2 little ones because we can press those to all sorts of things just to kind of take up that little bit of space. Now, if you really wanted to get picky, you could absolutely fill in the center here, but we're not going to do that. So now all I have to do from here is scroll down to the bottom. Now, I do want to save the project, so I'm going to call this gang sheet video. That way I kind of know what it is, and I'm going to click Save Project. It's going to save my project, save my layers, all those things that we want it to do. And it might take a minute, especially because these files are pretty large, pretty high quality. And then I'm going to show you what this is at the bottom here. That way I can kind of explain to you what that means. Now that I've saved it, you can see down here where it says all sizes checks passed. That just tells you that your designs are good quality. They're going to print really well. They're not going to have any issues when they go to print them. Then you can just double check your gang sheet to make sure that nothing is getting cut off. Nothing is going to overlap each other. You're going to be able to cut between them. Now I do have some of them pretty tight, but I'll be able to get the scissors in there, so I'm not real worried about it. But just to kind of make sure everything is the way you want it to look. So I do always recommend scrolling through and just checking it and making sure that everything is the way you want it to look before you add to cart, because you can always edit it if you need to. Then all you're going to do is click Add to Cart when you're ready. Once you're happy with your design, you're good to go. Everything's the way you want it to be. Now, if we ever want to just find our image, because I just want to show you this, because sometimes it doesn't add to cart, and that happens, and that's why I do always save it. Go and sign in and look under My Projects, and you're going to see that you have any of the projects that you've previously created are all saved right here. Now from here, you can just click Add to Cart. Now it's going to take a second to add, so don't worry, totally easy to do. And then you can just go into your cart and you can click View Cart here, or you can go up here to view your cart. Whichever way you want to do it, doesn't matter. Now, they do offer free shipping at $75, so if you want to add some more stuff to your cart, and be sure to use code Corinne when you check out, because that'll save you 5%. Each design cost me around $2.50. And then let's say that each t-shirt was about $3.50. So you're still looking at about $6 total for the cost of your print and your shirt. Now the great thing is that this is a super easy way to do this, and it's really quick. You're not having to cut out your designs. You're not having to weed your designs. You're not having to line them up if they're multiple colors. So this is a super quick process too, which then means that your hourly rate is actually way better. So I typically pay myself $20 an hour. If I could make 10 shirts in an hour, that hourly rate is fantastic because I'm making quite a bit of profit. Now with weeding and HTV and all that and layering and multiple pressing, I'm probably only able to make 2 to 3 shirts an hour depending on the design. Now we do need to cut our gang sheet apart. I'm just gonna cut it apart with some scissors, but you can see it's quite long. So what you'll do is you're gonna cut each of your designs out. I'm gonna show you how to press really quick. Like, this is not a tutorial on how to do this, but I wanna show you really quickly how quickly these do press. They're super easy, really, really fast, and full color, which is great. I do recommend taking your time when you're cutting because you wanna make sure that you're not cutting off any of your design. And the other great thing is you don't have to cut these perfectly, like in squares or anything. You just cut around the design, and then just make sure that you're only cutting out the design that goes with that portion. So I'll just cut this one out really quick just to show you what I mean. So now we have this design ready to go. It's its individual design. This one says, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal." And all I have to do is put this on my shirt and get it all pressed. Now I'm gonna get everything else cut out. That way we have all of our individual designs cut out. And then we're gonna go ahead and press one, just so you can see how quickly and easy this is. Then we're gonna talk about shipping supplies and all of that. Now, when it comes to storing DTF prints, they can last anywhere from about 3 to 12 months unpressed, but you definitely want to try to press them pretty quickly after you receive them, which is one reason that I do recommend doing a pre-order. You want to make sure that you're storing them somewhere that is cool and out of direct sunlight, and then you also want to make sure that you're storing them somewhere where they're not going to get bent or wrinkled. You can absolutely stack them up like this and put them in a box or on a shelf, but you want to be very careful with them. That way you're not damaging any of your prints. Another thing that's really great about direct to film transfers is that there is white ink. So with that white ink, that means that you can press these onto any color shirt and the white ink is going to show instead of the color of the shirt, like it would with sublimation or printable HTV for lights. I absolutely love that it does the white, but it does all colors, so you can really print off something super duper colorful and press this to any color shirt that you want to. Cutting out only took me about 3 minutes, so that's super easy and quick. We're gonna do the In My Christmas Vibes era design. I love this one, I think it's cute. And then I'm gonna put it on this light blue Bella Canvas shirt, super comfy. And then just so you know, this shirt here, I believe, is 100% cotton. Yes, 100% cotton. What's great is these transfers actually work on cotton, polyester, all the things, so it's really easy. Now, what you're gonna need to do is we're gonna press this for 329 seconds for 20 seconds without anything on it. We're just gonna press the shirt. It's gonna remove any wrinkles or moisture. Then we're gonna press it again for another 20 seconds with our transfer on it. We're gonna allow the transfer to cool and then peel the clear carrier sheet that's over top. And then finally, you want to press it for another 20 seconds. That's just going to make sure that this is going to press really well. The great thing with these is there's no like parchment paper or Teflon sheet required. You can use it, but you don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and get the press set up. I'm going to show you how quickly it is to do this press. Super easy. 60 seconds total to press everything, which I think is great. Now you're going to want to check if you're not ordering from 143. Your press directions may be different than mine. So just keep that in mind. You want to check with whoever you ordered from what their directions are and how to press with their products. I'm going to go over this super quickly. So for this part, we're going to press that for 20 seconds just to remove any moisture from the shirt. This is really important, and you're going to see how much moisture is left over here in just a second. I'm going to move that, and you can see that black line right there. That is all the moisture coming out of the shirt. So that's an important step that you don't want to skip out on. If you do, you can actually like end up not having your item stay pressed well, and it's just kind of bad. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line up my design. Now this is where using like a t-shirt ruler could come in handy if you have one. I personally just like to use my hands. I'm pretty good at eyeballing it. You go about 3 fingers down from the collar, and then you want to center it from the sleeves. I tend not to try to use the collar for my center. It doesn't usually come out quite centered because sometimes the tag isn't centered and that can throw you off. Now you want to kind of scoot it around a little bit, get it lined up correctly, and the more you do this, the quicker you'll be able to line these up. Honestly, you'll be able to do this very, very quickly, but I wanted to make sure that this one you guys really saw that I'm taking my time making sure it's lined up. But again, get a t-shirt ruler, it'll be great. Then you want to press this again for 20 seconds at 329 degrees, and that is going to get the press of the actual DTF, direct transfer press. Then you want to make sure that this is cool. You need to cool this down. You can use a cooling block or whatever you've got. Then you can peel off the carrier sheet here. I would recommend using like an old piece of marble or like a ceramic tile, something like that works great for a cooling block. Then you press it for another 20 seconds just to make sure that it's adhered and you're good to go. Your print is perfect and gorgeous. And I absolutely think this is a pretty quick process. And the more you do it, the faster you will be. Now that we've pressed our shirt, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about shipping supplies. So you're going to need a few things, and I don't ship, so I don't actually have a lot of it on hand. But I do, when I do occasionally send things to friends, I use a 10 by 13 poly mailer. This thing's great. You can usually get these anywhere from like 7 to 15 cents. Do not worry about them being super cute. Honestly, black, white, whatever you can get cheap when you first get started, do it. You can always invest in cuter stuff later, but honestly, the poly mailer packaging, don't worry about. Totally fine. But these, you can get about 100 of them, pretty inexpensive. Then I usually will use a clear plastic, like another container or like a bag to put those in, just so that they're extra protected, because you don't want your shirts to get ruined or stained or anything in the shipping process. And we all know that these get beat up pretty good, so I always put an extra layer in there, and it's just like a little clear plastic bag with a sticker that you can fold over. I can usually fit 2 t-shirts, maybe 3 in this one, and then 1 sweatshirt, but you can find lots of sizes, and like I said, anywhere from like, you can get them from like 7 cents up to like 20 cents. Just find a good deal so that you're not spending a lot on your shipping supplies. You're also going to need some way to print labels, so whether you're using a regular at-home inkjet printer or a label printer. Label printers can run anywhere from like $60 all the way up to like $200. So find something that works for you and in your budget if you want to use a label printer. And be sure to look at where you can get the label tape and how expensive that tape is, because that can make a big difference in which printer you might want to get. Now, I just use my at-home inkjet printer, and it's totally fine. I just use sticker sheets, and I just hand cut them myself, and it's totally fine. It's worked for me when I do need to ship. But if you want to start a business, I highly recommend a label printer, because it will save you a lot of hassle. Just prints it right on a sticky. You just slap it on your package, and it's good to go. Now, I would definitely highly recommend checking out different heat presses for what you want to use. Do not recommend the CRICUT Easy Press for these types of products. It's not going to work very well. You really need a good even heat and pressure when making DTF shirts. So I would recommend getting a clamshell style heat press. Mine is a StarCraft 15 by 15, which is currently on back order with the manufacturer, but I will link my exact one down below. But I'm going to link a couple others that I've had, or I have friends that have, and I know are good quality heat presses in a couple of different price ranges for you, so that you can easily find one if you're looking. You can find a heat press anywhere from $100 up to $700 and even higher than that. But I honestly think sticking in the $150 to $200 range for just getting started is a great option. And like I said, I'll put some links down below for you to find what you're looking for, because like I said, they're presses I've either owned or have used and can speak for their quality. Now, one great thing about using the DTF for your business is you can do this in a pretty small space. You really just need a small table for your heat press, and then maybe another little small area where you can cut your DTF film down, and some storage for your blanks. Now, if you don't want to store blanks and you want to make sure that your products are going to sell before you invest in buying all the shirt blanks and buying all of that, I would recommend starting doing pre-orders. And what a pre-order is you basically make one shirt. So let's say I want to do a pre-order. What I would do personally, just so I can make sure that I like the way they look, is I would order one print of the design that I want to make as a pre-order. I would create the shirt. I would take some nice pictures of it, and then I would post that on to my website, my Etsy, whatever I'm going to use to sell. And I want to make sure that whatever, holiday it might be for. So if it's my Christmas shirts, I want to start posting those in October. And I want to make sure that my customers know that you can pre-order this shirt for the following amount of days. So let's say that we're going to cut off our orders on October 30th. Then you're going to let them know a turnaround time from the end of your pre-orders. So let's say we're going to get our shirts within 2 days, but our DTF prints are going to take a little bit longer. Those are going to take probably about 7 days to get to you, depending on where you order from. So you're looking at least a week before you have all the product to make your designs. Then you're going to want to give yourself some time to actually press them. And you'll be able to know kind of a little bit better, like seeing how your pre-orders are going, how long it's going to take for you to actually create each shirt. And you'll just tell your customer, okay, shipping will start on this day. Now, one thing that you're going to want to make sure is that you're always communicating with your customer, especially for pre-orders, and letting them know, hey, I'm starting shipping today. This order number 111 through 222 has shipped today. That'll just help them have good confidence that their order is coming. That's one thing that I love about pre-orders, though, is that you're not going to end up with extra product. Now, should you order a little bit of extra? If for pre-order, absolutely. Don't order exactly the same amount of number of shirts that you need. Always order 1 to 2 in each size extra. That way, in case something happens, one of the shirts is damaged, one of the presses gets damaged, something like that, you always have a backup. Now, if you're somebody that wants to keep inventory, that's okay too. You can absolutely do that, and you can pre-press them and all that and ship them out same day, but it's really up to you and the way that works best for your business and for your consumer. It's really no wrong way to run your business. You run what works for you and how you want to do it. Now, I would highly recommend getting your own website, even if you plan to sell on Etsy or like Shopify, anything like that. Would highly recommend still having your own website. That way you've still got some control, and if anything happens with your Etsy store, you have a backup option for people to shop from. Now, I will say that always build your fees into your price as well. So if you're doing Etsy, that 20 cents, tack that onto the price of your shirt. Whatever those fees are that they charge you, I don't know the exact percentages, tack those onto the price of your shirt. So a shirt like this, to create this shirt, costs me about, with time and everything, about $9. I can sell this shirt from anywhere between $22 and $25 typically. So you're going to make a pretty good profit. But again, I'm building in all of those fees to my shirt. That way I'm not paying those fees and the customer really doesn't notice them either. That's going to be your typical price for a t-shirt. Now, obviously, if you pay more for your shirt, you're going to want to charge more for your product. So if you're using a higher quality shirt or a more expensive blank like a crew neck, then yes, absolutely up the charge that you're using. Startup costs are something you need to think about when starting a business. So we're going to kind of break it down. We're not going to be able to give you an exact number because each thing's going to cost a little bit different depending what you buy and where you buy it from. First thing you're going to need is a heat press, anywhere from $150 to $1,000, really depends. And then, like I said, I do recommend having a website or somewhere to shop from. So whether you use Etsy, Shopify, Wix, all the millions of places you can make your own website, keep that cost in mind when you're starting up. I also recommend having a Canva Pro account, and the reason I recommend that is you're able to create your own designs with Canva, and so you can be really unique and have fun. Again, not necessary, but definitely something I personally recommend. I also highly recommend having a subscription with a website that offers designs for really inexpensive, and my favorite's Creative Fabrica. All the images that I use today were Creative Fabrica images, and it breaks down to $4.99 a month, really inexpensive. Poly mailers, I found 100 for $7.31, which breaks down to 7 cents a piece. Cellophane bags, 300 for $17.98 or 9 cents each. I found label printers anywhere from $60 to $200, and then the label paper, 500 labels for $18.99 and 4 cents each. You're also going to want to kind of keep in mind shipping, which can range anywhere from $3 to $8, kind of depending on where you're shipping to. So there's some of the startup costs you want to think about before you get started. The next set of costs we need to talk about are the actual costs of the products that you're selling. So I've broken it down a little bit, and I'm just using the items that I personally used. So for this one, I did use a Bella Canvas shirt, which is a little more expensive. But like I said, you can get other shirts for less cost. But my shirt cost $4.23 from shirtspace.com. Then the design, I broke that down because I fit 13 designs, which made each design $2.53. I'm going to use one poly mailer, so that's 7 cents, one cellophane bag at 9 cents, one shipping label at 4 cents. I'm going to assume shipping's about $4, and it took me about $3 worth of my time to do it, so my total is about $13.96. Now, you're going to want to keep that in mind for what you want to charge for your shirts. Typically, I see t-shirts going anywhere from $22 to $30. It's really about the market, where you're selling, what designs you're selling, what brand shirts you're using. The more expensive shirts are obviously going to sell for a little bit more because they're usually a little bit better quality. But these are all just things you need to think about when you're getting ready to start your business. I hope that you guys learned some fun things about working with DTF and making your own business by just using a heat press without all the extra equipment and products that you might think you need. This is a really great way to get started, and really make yourself your very own small business. If you have any questions, by all means, leave those in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. If there's some tutorials you're looking for, let me know in those comments down below as well. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!